This idea that somehow this person's supposed to sit in the middle of complete poverty and economic desperation while they're serving all these other people that are all making money and doing well themselves and not sharing any of that with him, I don't agree with that at all. But it can become an extreme, right? Like I remember going on a run through the west side of Atlanta, and I saw a street where everything was torn apart, torn down, and it was definitely the hood. It was the hoodie hood. And then, but then I saw this big, beautiful church that just looked like it was like the sun was shining only on that particular part of the block, right? Everything else was dark. Just on that part, everything was shining pristine, and they had a big gate around it, of course. And I just said, no, I'm not a fan of that, right? Because that's extreme, right? That's when somebody or is living well, at the expense of the congregation. But in my view, if the congregation is able to elevate, then the pastor should elevate with the congregation. In fact, that's another point I wanted to mention. If there's fruit in the lives of members, then I think that that is an indicator that the church has formed a community where prosperity exists for everyone, where everybody's winning, where the reciprocity is there, and people are better, and the pastor's better, and everybody's better. Another sign of a good church versus a bad one is leadership lifestyle alignment. So again, all the flaunting and when you got Bishop Two Tone running through the hood, in a Bentley and five rings on his fingers and just doing these extravagantly ridiculous behaviors. Basically, that's when you get the pastors that want to be rappers. Like rappers and pastors are very similar. They were the original social media influencers, and that's why politicians spend money purchasing black rappers and black pastors in order to control the black community because we're heavily influenced by both. And so when the pastor becomes the rapper, that to me is not healthy. That becomes a type of pimping. That's a good point, Armando. It's pimping. Um, also, empowerment over dependency, right? So a healthy church should teach people how to grow spiritually, emotionally, and financially without making the members feel cursed or fearful or spiritually incomplete without constant giving. So I think it's one thing when you give people the option to give, or when and you can even let them know how important that is. And I think the people that are getting value should be giving something back. It makes no sense for you to go spend money on this person and that person who doesn't care about you, and then neglect the people that do care about you, right? So I think that again, the reciprocity is critical. But I think when you get to the point where you're living through fear, where you're getting compliance because you're telling people that if you don't give me money and do what I say, then terrible things will happen to you. And that becomes the ultimate threat of religion, right? That if you like I had a person who was trying to convince me to go to church with her, and I said, I don't know, I gotta process that. I gotta think about that a little bit. And she was saying, like, well, you know, the whole burning hell type stuff, right? Which is fine. I'm not if you believe that, I respect that completely. But I remember thinking, like I said, well, I don't know. I don't know what happens when we die. I don't know how to figure that out, And she said, well, what if there's only like a 1% chance that I'm right? She said, well, don't you want to just go ahead and go to church just in case it's right? I'm right. And I was like, no, like I did, and also I do believe in God. I just believe God can make house calls. I think God is everywhere. I think God is inside of you. I think God is in your house. And it ain't no man or woman living going to be able to convince me that I got to go in your building and give you money to get access to God. Who the hell are you? Right.